Hello there and welcome back to another Friday night and another episode of Not Your Average Globetrotter. But just before we get into this, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Are the lockdowns finally lifted? Are we finally out and free? Check out this video and you'll see what life in Italy is looking like at this moment in time. Also, just a quick little heads up that nothing that happened in this video went the way that it was supposed to. Everything that was planned other than the very last part of the video ended up going to plan. So anyway, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Here is this week's episode of Not Your Average Globetrotter, but also there is an audio podcast only exclusive that is available on some of your favorite podcasting platforms out there. So be sure to go and check that out. I'll leave a link down below. Well, hello there. This is something different. It's been a while since I've been outside. Got some stuff I need to take care of today and thought I'd bring you guys along with me. Buongiorno. C'è biglietti per il autobus?
Per Rovigo?
Sì, per Rovigo.
Sì. Quanti?
2 per favore. Ciao ciao. Okay, so I have got some errands today that I've been putting off for a while because of the lockdown, because of everything that's been going on, and I've got to go to the mall. So you're gonna see a little Provincial, little mall just here where I live. Nothing so crazy. It's not bad, it's nice, it's just small. And then after, later on, I am going to come back here to town because just very close to where I am right now, there is the main Piazza, and because we are now in a yellow zone here in Rovigo, in the Veneto region, like we can go in places like almost like normal. What a crazy idea to sit outside, to eat, to drink. So I thought I'd go out, enjoy the afternoon a little bit, maybe grab a tea or something. Stop drinking coffee already years ago by now. So yeah, thought I'd bring you guys along. Interestingly enough though, even though things are opening up, we still are seeing everybody with masks on. So while things are getting better, things are nowhere near back to normal quite yet. So I've got another, say about 15 minutes before my bus comes. Left the house a bit earlier than I probably needed to in the end, but I've just basically been home for most of the days, so. But especially since things are a little bit less locked down now. I mean, even though just walking around fine, like it's not like what it was before. It's just something in the air feels different. Also, it's nicer weather now. I mean, we've had a mixture between like warm-ish weather and quite a bit of rain this week. So since I've got a few minutes, I may as well just show you a little bit, just that there are some places that are open, but things aren't totally back to normal, even though you can go out and sit at a cafe. So this first place here, don't mind that it's empty right now, because this place is really more late afternoon, early evening is that when they see people. But the second place is where there are generally quite a few people around. So it's really refreshing. I mean, for months, just walking here, like all of this is empty. Like nobody sitting around, nobody doing anything. Maybe some people like over on the corner over there, some like old guys just hanging out on the corner like the way that Italian dudes do. But yeah, I think today's gonna be a really nice day. Not too hot, not too cool, just warm enough for a light sweater and a scarf. So my kind of weather. Well, my kind of weather is also the rain and cold, but I'll settle for this. This is much better than what we get in the summer, because it gets really hot and really humid here. Definitely not as hot maybe as some other places, but the humidity here is ridiculous. So this is the main Piazza. Over at that place over there on the other side of the Piazza, they actually extended their seating quite a bit, and even with the new rules, they decided to actually expand, and they bought up another place just so that they could have more outdoor seating, because with the new rules, indoor seating just yeah, if you've watched my last video from last Friday night, if you want to know more about that, because every time we have a new set of rules, it always gets complicated, and sometimes trying to keep in mind what were the most recent rules, what are the last rules. It's all hectic and all complicated to try and remember, because you're remembering what were the most recent rules and what were the last rules. If you remember my video from my first year here in Rovigo, this is where I started the video at the market, the big market that was the 500-plus-year-old street market. That was so much fun. It was so sad that last year we couldn't have that market. It was so sad. I was really looking forward to it because there was just everything. And even we did have actually the street food market. The food was so-so, but it was nice at least that market could be around. This place, if you've seen on my Instagram or TikTok, the Distance Gelateria, where you can go and get gelato, but there's glass in between you and the people. You can't actually even go out inside. It's like, imagine a vending machine, but with people inside of it instead of a claw or whatever it may be. But really, to see it in comparison with where things were even just a few months ago, like if you watch some of my updates that I made about like what's been going on here, I mean, to see everything so empty and now see at least a little bit of life there is unbelievably refreshing. And even, I'm sure, this weekend things are going to probably be packed, because like even during this week when it was raining, there were people still going outside because they'd been cooped up for so long they didn't care if they were going to freeze or get wet. There's even a picture from just a little bit further south of me. If I can find it, I'll try to put it on the screen. But people were sitting out in the rain with umbrellas in Ferrara, just enjoying their dinner or drink, whatever it was. And that's the extent to how cooped up people have been feeling and just what we've been going through here.
All right, so just as we're getting into the part of the video where everything goes just upside down, I wanted to take a second while we're on this little trip out to the mall, showing you a little bit more of where I live and just a part of the city and a part of this area that I haven't shown you before. I wanted to take a moment to say a huge thank you to those of you who help to make content like this possible on a monthly basis via Patreon through rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon or patreon.com/rafaeldifuria. It is because of you guys that I'm able to continue to make content like this. So thank you all so very much for helping videos like this to come out, and not just videos like this, but also the other video podcast episodes that are sit down, quote unquote, in studio. It is really so very greatly appreciated. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so very much.
Okay, so I'm here. I made it. So as you can see, like this area, this isn't actually Rovigo. This is a little outside of the city. And so that's one of the reasons why I haven't come, because I wasn't sure I was legally actually allowed to come here because I live in the provincial capital. So yeah, it's kind of part of Rovigo, but it's not quite. So I thought it would be better just not to come at all. But since we're in a yellow zone, I figured I may as well come today, because today just happens to be the one day that I have a little bit of time to get out here. Okay, so clearly I came on the worst day possible. Oh, I regret coming here. Ma Iliad è anche chiuso. Oh. So today is pre-holiday. Tomorrow's holiday. Oh, come on. It's going to be an hour before the next bus gets here. I can't believe this. Oh.
Just before we get to the rest of the video, let me explain what happened. Okay, so I'm going to explain what's going on here at this point. So I got off the bus and I saw they were doing some construction here. The door was closed up and sectioned off, and there was a guy, a construction worker, who was diverting traffic, and he was the only person who I could really ask, because I saw the door that I would normally go in to was blocked off. And he said, yeah, no, the mall is closed today. There is nothing going on. And I was like, wait, what is going on here? And in the moment, I didn't hear everything that he said, but this could have so easily been avoided. I'm not somebody who really cares too much about holidays, and I don't really pay attention to them all that much. For me, it's just another potential work day, even if it's supposed to be a day off. So it's just... Anyway, tomorrow, Saturday, the day after this video is going up, is a national holiday. And because today is the day before the national holiday, a lot of things are closed. So that's why I ended up at the mall, and I didn't even get to go in. The only thing that was open there was the supermarket. That was it. Maybe like one or two other stores. Later on in the video, I'll explain a little bit more about why I wanted to go to the mall, but it just... It could have very easily been avoided. And this is the thing about living in Italy, is that there are all of these holidays, there are all of these days off, there are all of these things that, I mean, just in general, there's always something that happens here in Italy, that things do not go according to plan, so never plan for things to go according to your plan. Also, I happen to get very, very lucky, because when I was walking up to go around to this other area in the mall that was also going to be closed, I was thinking that maybe that I might have a chance of going to this one store that's in the same parking lot but not part of the mall. And I saw the bus off in the distance, and I was thinking, there's no way he's going to stop. But there's only one bus per hour that goes there and comes. Like, that's basically it. So I figured either I run, which I haven't done since 2019, or I take a chance of having to sit around in literally the middle of nowhere for an hour. And I rather run. So I got very lucky, because the guy wasn't supposed to stop where he stopped. And this is the one thing that I will say, but gesticulation in Italy is very important. And understanding some of the basic things that people use here can save you. It literally saved me an hour plus of my time today, just by knowing this hand signal, like, please, please, please let me on. I mean, fine, you would use this anywhere, or at least in a lot of countries, like this prayer, like, please, please, please let me in. That is what got me on the bus today. That is what saved me from having to wait literally out in the middle of nowhere with nobody around. Like I said, nothing today went right. Nothing today went to plan, other than the very end final part of this video roughly went to plan. So we'll get to that in a second.
All right, well, I'm gonna blame myself for not double checking, but this is what happens here. Like, things just end up being unexpected. Like, you think things are open. I don't know, maybe I should have looked to double check. I thought that malls were open with the current set of rules, but I guess maybe, I don't know, he said something. Part of the problem was that I didn't totally hear him. And so it wasn't about misunderstanding, it was just that I couldn't hear. I'm sure I'm gonna be looking at the footage later and like listening closer to what he said and like, now it all makes sense. But it's super frustrating, because I've been waiting literally months to go. And this is, oh gosh. Anyway, I'm in a part of town that I don't usually show in my videos, just not much down here. Like, really, once you get out of the center, like if you go one direction up the main street or the other direction up the main street, there's not a ton to see, but you do have like little bakeries and places where you can go. And so there's one other place that I wanted to come and check out that does some prepared food, just because I'd never seen it before and probably not going to get anything, but I thought I may as well get a lay of the land, because you never know. Hunger, it's a thing sometimes. Friday night, mixed fried fish. Ooh, that sounds good. Huh. Well, maybe I'll get something. Maybe a little dessert. I deserve it. I went in, but it didn't seem like anybody was actually there. So maybe I'll just stick to the original plan, go to the main piazza, but there's not really a place there that has like tiramisu and stuff like that in the middle of the day. This is just a day of things not going quite totally right. Also, so while I'm walking back to the center, if you guys didn't catch it, earlier this week, maybe this past weekend, there was a podcast that came out called Interstates and Heartbreaks, and I was a guest over there, had a great time with the host, Leslie, and we had a lot of laughs. We spoke a bit about intercultural dating and dating abroad as an American living abroad, dating abroad as an expat, and got into some subjects that I don't normally get into too much here on my YouTube channel, but not exactly because of the podcast, but because of being on that podcast. It got me inspired to try out online dating again. So I decided to, because I'm someone who really hates it, not a fan of it whatsoever, but I figured, you know what, give it a try. Why not? There was a situation that came up because of this deciding to jump into the deep end of the pool. So not only can you go check out a podcast that I was featured on, but I'm uploading also an audio exclusive episode that will go up hopefully the same day as this video. So be sure to check out your favorite podcast platform for the audio exclusive number 2, things that I don't talk about on YouTube number 2. This is one place over here that I believe I have shown you guys in a previous video. I mean, I've shown you probably, if you've watched all my videos of Rovigo, you've definitely seen this at some point. It may just not have looked like this because of different tents and festivals that have been here. I'm just not sure if I've been quite right here when it wasn't a festival, at least in a video. Definitely been here before. rather than take the main way. I mean, it's a small town. It's never really too busy on the streets here, but rather than go that main way, I like cutting through this little walkway. It looks creepy as hell sometimes, especially later on when it's a little darker, but not as creepy as usual. I don't know, I feel like they did something up a little bit. They changed it somehow. Now, for those of you who follow me on social media, this place should look very familiar to you. I think the last store I filmed outside here at this Piazza was over at this place right here. But I think I'm gonna head over to one of these other places. This one's in the shade over here. But that one over there, they're super friendly. They're friendly at that one too, but it's in the shade. Well, I thought I was recording this whole time. Glad I'm the only one that knows I wasn't recording. But in the end, I decided to come to this place. I haven't done a video here. I haven't recorded a video here. I've recorded across on the other side of the Piazza. But yeah, I'm having tea in Italy. This isn't cappuccino. This is a tea. I know, what a sin to be drinking tea in Italy, of all places. But it's a good reason to be able to legally be outside without a mask on. I mean, even like, I'm not the type of person that normally likes to come to places to come and sit for a drink, especially not on my own. But after this past year, I can appreciate being outside just that little bit, just a little bit. Nice to be able to enjoy like a day out, because I mean, this couple weeks ago wasn't even possible. Things weren't even near as warm as they are now, so forget just the legal side, but would have been in a much thicker jacket. But it is really strange. I mean, like, I don't know if you can see so much behind me, but where I am right now, I mean, they've expanded the seating a lot this year. That's one of the maybe almost benefits of what we've been experiencing here, just with the lockdowns and the new rules, that these places have been able to expand their seats and have been able to actually accommodate more people, because beforehand it was like you'd have tons and tons of people just standing around and it would be tough to get a place to sit. But I mean, even right now in the middle of the day, like lunchtime on Friday, I would have expected more people to be out here. It's a little surprising to me, because even though things are getting closer to normal, it feels like it's still nowhere near normal. I mean, everywhere you go, everybody is wearing a mask. I mean, keeping this around just in case somebody gets close. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting at a table, so technically I can be seated without needing to actually have the mask on, but it's a very strange experience. But very grateful, very, very grateful to be out and about and enjoying this afternoon. I know I keep repeating myself here, but I'm really so lucky at that bus stop, that at the mall, that guy let me back. Otherwise, I would just barely be coming back now. I would be definitely either still there waiting for the bus, really angry about the situation, or on the bus, still angry about the situation. But I feel like every time I go to the mall, I end up being disappointed in one way or another. This time it wasn't even open, period. I couldn't get in unless I wanted to go to just the supermarket or something, because here in Italy and even a lot of Europe, a lot of malls tend to have a supermarket attached to it. This one also has a supermarket, but it also has got like a big, huge electronics store there, a ton of clothing shops, even like H&M. They've got even a McDonald's. What an amazing thing. And then on the other side of the highway, they've got a Burger King. And like, so there's no like McDonald's and Burger King technically in town. Like, you have to go out of the city to actually get there. But the reason why I went even was because I was needing to get a SIM card. And there's no place that you can actually get the SIM card in town if you want to have it like on the spot, you have to go out to the mall to this kiosk there, and otherwise the only other option is to order it online and have it delivered. But I wanted it today. I didn't want to wait till next week. So I assumed because of phone stores and phone companies that it would be at least open, but according to the guy outside, nothing. I also needed to get some lamps, but I mean, in the end, I'll probably just have to order it on Amazon or something, because I mean, I'm not gonna have time to go back to the mall anytime soon. It's not like, even though it only takes me like, say, once I'm on the bus, like say 10, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, to get there, it's annoying because you have to have, like, the bus only comes once an hour, and beyond that, it's a big schlep to get out there. So, and none of those businesses at the mall are really local businesses anyway. They're all kind of either chains or, I mean, there's some of them that are locally owned, but can't say I would feel too horrible because even the places that would have a lamp wouldn't be, they're part of chains, so I don't feel like I'm necessarily hurting the local economy, because I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these people who are selling on Amazon now are local small businesses. Even though it is through Amazon, it's like an Amazon seller or something. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's been a fun afternoon out. Didn't accomplish what I was hoping to accomplish, but thank you all so much for joining me on this beautiful Friday night. That is not quite a Friday night, it's still the afternoon. So thanks for joining me in this Friday night video, this episode of Not Your Average Globetrotter. Of course, a huge thank you to those of you who helped to make content like this possible through Patreon. It is very greatly appreciated. And of course, be sure to check out the episode of Interstates and Heartbreaks that I was featured on, that is linked on my Facebook account. It'll soon be on my website, but working on the website, been having a lot of problems with that since the end of last year. Actually, really, for the past 10 years. But that'll soon be on there, and you'll be able to find it. Or you can just DM me if you're curious to hear it. And of course, be sure to check out my podcast episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms, where you'll be able to find this week's podcast exclusive episode talking about some of the things that I don't talk about here on YouTube. Of course, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you all next time. Later.